Stay connection to what matters.
Good afternoon. This is World News Now coming to you on Montage 99.7 FM Abuja. I am Arit Efanga. First, the headlines. President Tinubu congratulates newly elected Pope. United States slashes medical funding to Zambia over corrupt practices. Russia celebrates 80th anniversary of Soviet Union victory. In business, President Trump suggests reversal of trade tariffs on Chinese imports. And in sports, India suspends India Premier League following continued row with Pakistan. Now the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu has congratulated the Roman Catholic Church on the election of Pope Leo XIV as the new leader of the global Catholic community. In a statement released on Thursday by presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga, President Tinubu expressed his joy over the Pope's emergence and offered prayers for a successful and impactful tenure. He highlighted the long-standing relationship between Nigeria and the Holy See, rooted in shared values and mutual respect. The president also commended the Catholic Church's vital role in Nigeria's development, especially in areas such as peace building, education, healthcare, infrastructure, and more recently, technological advancements. He prayed that God grants the new Pope good health, wisdom, and divine guardians to spread the message of peace and love across the world. The Nigerian Senate leadership has issued a strong warning to the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, cautioning him against making public statements that could strain the relationship between the National Assembly and the executive arm led by President Bola Tinubu. This followed Badaru's public dismissal of a planned two-day National Security Summit organized by the Senate, which he deemed unnecessary in addressing Nigeria's security issues. Speaking during a ministerial briefing in Abuja, Badaru argued that the armed forces were already better equipped and more advanced than insurgents. He emphasized that strategic planning rather than security summits is the most effective approach to tackling the country's security challenges. In response, Senator Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President, and Senate Leader Okweyemi Bamidele took turns during plenary on Thursday to criticize Badaru's remarks. They expressed concern that such comments could undermine the Senate's efforts to contribute meaningfully to national security and weaken collaboration with the executive arm of government. Akpabio particularly warned that public criticism of legislative resolutions could deepen existing security woes. The United States has slashed its medical aid to Zambia's health sector by $50 million, citing ongoing concerns over the theft of donated medical supplies. The decision follows repeated warnings to Zambian authorities about the need to protect vital resources intended for the country's most vulnerable patients. U.S. Ambassador to Zambia, Michael Gonzalez, expressed frustration over what he described as systemic corruption and the diversion of life-saving drugs, which were meant to be distributed free of charge, but have instead ended up missing or sold illegally. Zambia's government acknowledged the issue, insisting steps are being taken to address the problem. Zambia's Health Minister Elijah Muchima thanked the U.S. for the past support and pointed out that the theft of medical supplies has been an issue long before the current administration took office in 2021. Newly elected Pope Leo XIV has led his first Mass as the new head of the Catholic Church, marking a historic moment as the first American-born pontiff. The Mass was held in the Sistine Chapel just a day after his election by the College of Cardinals as the 267th Pope. In his first homily delivered in both English and Italian, The new Pope outlined his vision for the Church's mission, focusing on providing hope and moral guidance in a time of global uncertainty. Presidents across the world continue to welcome the new Pope, including U.S. President Donald Trump, praising Pope Leo's emergence as a proud moment for the country. Russian President Vladimir Putin led Victory Day celebrations in Moscow's Red Square under heightened security following recent Ukrainian drone strikes. The event marking the 80th anniversary of the Soviets' victory over Nazi Germany saw thousands of soldiers march and over 20 international leaders in attendance. Chinese President Xi Jinping joined Putin as he addressed the crowd, using the occasion to link the historic victory to Russia's ongoing invasion of Ukraine, now in its fourth year, referring to it once again as a special military operation. In his speech, Putin reaffirmed Russia's commitment to what he framed as a fight against Nazism, Russophobia, and anti-Semitism, a rhetoric he has frequently used to justify the war in Ukraine. Emphasizing national unity, Putin said the entire Russian society supported the ongoing military campaign. The United Arab Emirates (UAE) has firmly denied allegations made by Amnesty International that it had supplied Chinese-made weapons to Sudan's Rapid Support Forces, a paramilitary group currently engaged in a brutal conflict with Sudan's regular army. UAE's Assistant Minister for Security and Military Affairs, Salem Al-Jaberi, dismissed the claims as baseless and lacking credible evidence. The denial was posted on the official account of the UAE Ministry of Foreign Affairs, emphasizing that the country does not support any faction involved in Sudan's ongoing war. Amnesty International's report released on Thursday alleged that the RSF had used Chinese GB-50A guided bombs and 155 HA-4 howitzers in attacks on Sudanese cities, including Khartoum and areas in Darfur. Al-Jabari clarified that the weapons mentioned in the report were not exclusive to the UAE, stressing that the system has been widely available on the international arms market for nearly a decade. France and Poland are set to sign a significant new strategic cooperation treaty on Friday with Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, emphasizing that mutual security guarantees form the core of the agreement. Tusk will meet French President Emmanuel Macron in the eastern French city of Nancy to formalize the accord, which is part of broader efforts by European nations to reinforce defense cooperation in response to Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine. Tusk said the most important issue in the treaty is the mutual security pledge, describing it as the very essence of this treaty. He added that the agreement will include commitments to provide mutual assistance, including military support in the event either country is attacked. You're listening to World News Now on Montage 99.7 FM Abuja. The rest of the news after this break.
You're still listening to the World News Now on Montage 99.7 FM Abuja.
Now the rest of the news. In business, U.S. President Donald Trump has suggested that tariffs on Chinese goods may soon be reduced as high-level trade talks between the United States and China are set to take place in Switzerland. President Trump remarked that China would not get anything higher following the 145% imposed on Chinese goods since his return to the White House. His comments came during an event announcing a new tariffs agreement with the UK, marking the first such deal since the US imposed widespread levies on global partners in April. Meanwhile, China's Vice Foreign Minister Hua Chunying echoed this sentiment, stating that Beijing has full confidence in handling its trade relationships with the United States of America. In sports, the Indian Premier League has been suspended indefinitely amid escalating conflicts between India and Pakistan. The decision came after Thursday's match in Dar es Salaam was abruptly abandoned just hours after explosions were reported in Jammu, located less than 200 kilometers away. The worsening situation has raised major security concerns, prompting officials to halt the tournament, which is considered the most lucrative event in cricket. Meanwhile, Pakistan has reported further civilian casualties as cross-border hostilities continue for a third consecutive day. In response to safety concerns, Pakistan has already relocated the remaining fixtures of its own T20 league to the United Arab Emirates. It's 4 minutes before 1 p.m. and that is the World News Now on Montage 99.7 FM Abuja. But before we go, let's have a quick recap of our headlines. President Bola Tinubu has congratulated the Roman Catholic Church on the election of Pope Leo XIV as the new leader of the global Catholic community. The United States has slashed its medical aid to Zambia's health sector by $50 million, citing ongoing concerns over the theft of donated medical supplies. Russian President Vladimir Putin led 80th Victory Day celebrations in Moscow's Red Square under heightened security following recent Ukrainian drone strikes. In business, U.S. President Donald Trump has suggested that tariffs on Chinese goods may soon be reduced. And in sport, we told you that the Indian Premier League has been suspended indefinitely amid escalating conflicts between India and Pakistan. On behalf of the production crew led by Imisolua Adenira, I am Arit Efanga. Thank you for listening and good afternoon.